Wait, people have been talking about bachelor parties. That's discourse.
People have been mad about like going to strip clubs for your bachelor party. So me and SLAV had some healthy debate about the merits of.
I mean, whatever, dude. If you want to go and do that, go do it. I mean, it's not good behavior, but you can go do it. It's fine.
Yeah. It's not my path.
It's not for me personally. It's not my thing.
I wouldn't do it.
But like, I mean, that's just something that culturally, I feel like it's a pretty common thing, and I don't think there's. I mean, I think it's pretty innocent generally.
Yeah, I think it's weird that it's ritual, but.
I mean, it's kind of weird if you think about it. It's like people are like, "All right, this is my last night of freedom." You're like, "Bro, not really," because you're still in like you're engaged right now. There's like, you know what I mean? It's not like it's you're weird a little bit, that whole kind of mindset. But yeah, I don't know. Fucking,
you're in prison.
I'm not engaged. I'm not about to be married. So fuck if I know, dude.
It's none of my business. Yeah. All right, so let's go to the first. So there's a bunch of stuff now. So there's FBI raid, the inflation bill, the IRS expansion. So
wait, what's going on with the IRS expansion?
Oh boy, well that's part
because that just sounds bad.
That's part of the inflation bill. That's part of that. Let's start with the FBI thing. The feds did a sweep on Trump, and they went to Mar-a-Lago, I think it was in Florida, and they were looking for documents pertaining to Jan 6 hearings or whatever the fuck.
Oh, they're pertaining to January 6th.
I'm pretty sure. SLAV, I don't know if
I didn't
more, but.
I didn't see anywhere them actually say what the documents were about. They like everyone's just saying this like very opaque, just like, oh yeah, there's documents that he may have taken that are classified, and you're supposed to leave them in the office if you're the president and you leave.
Yeah, I think it was documents he took that were classified, that like it was against the law. I think it's to do with January. Like I think the whole thing. The context is January 6th, but I don't think that I don't know that like the documents have anything to directly do with it.
I feel like it's just some fucking bullshit. There's like, oh, there's some documents, some sort of bullshit that he allegedly did. He took some paper home. I don't fucking care. What does that mean to me? Nothing. Literally nothing. If he didn't take it home, he probably read it. Who gives a fuck if he took it home? I don't know, dude. Whatever.
15 boxes of materials at Trump's Florida home that should have been left with government record keepers. Oh, no.
Yeah, it's just like an archival problem. Like, what the fuck, dude? It's like leaving your library book, like, on your desk a little bit too long.
Yeah. You forgot to clock out or whatever. I mean.
Yeah. Someone's going to call HR and just get them to fix that shit real quick.
Yeah.
Who's the president's HR?
Yeah. This seems like some. Okay, well, before I say what I think, I mean, what do you guys make of it? Like, do you think it's because so the framing of this, the takeaway that's come out of this is people are saying that Trump is 100% running in 2024 now because he's got this as sort of like fuel.
Yeah, that's how I read this.
Yeah, it's sort of like.
I mean, that's how it should be, dude. Well, this is a good.
I think that this indicates that he's definitely running, and I think that this indicates that like there is no backup plan for the Dems, and like I think that it's gonna be Joe.
Damn.
I think that's a hotter take, but I think that that's a takeaway from this.
Damn, man. Trump and Biden again. Oh man, it just sounds like horrible to me. It just sounds like you know what I mean? It just sounds like time is not moving, You ever be around like stoners and like the room is like actually
time dilation.
Yeah. Like it feels like time is frozen. Like it's always the same level of messiness somehow. And it's like they haven't moved off the same spot of the couch. Every time you see them, it's the same. Like it feels kind of like that. It feels like, holy shit, man. Like, I don't know. It makes me feel like, what the fuck is going on? Is time moving? Like, I don't know.
History's a nightmare from which I'm trying to awake.
Yeah. I mean, I hope to God it's like Kamala or Buttigieg just for kicks or something. You know what I mean? Give me something.
Yeah, just to freshen it up a little bit.
Spruce it up a little. Newsom, throw him in there. Cuomo, anything. Like I don't want to see Biden up there again. I really don't.
I want to see Pritzker up there, bro.
Who's that?
He's the grimmest looking motherfucker out of Illinois. The big waddly guy.
I gotta look at that.
Pritzker is a hilarious name for a large man that waddles. Pritzker's like the name of an obese cat, dude.
Holy shit.
JB Pritzker. Wow, this guy is a caricature. Yeah. He's not real.
Oh yeah, he's unreal, dude. He's like straight crook mode.
Clay.
Grimmest motherfucker, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, I think that they're doing this. They're doing this to try to snuff out his chances of running again. And it's not going to work because nothing works. Because nothing they do works. Mm-hmm. And so he's untouchable. And he's going to run again, and it's entirely possible he'll win, and then we'll get 4 more years of him doing nothing. And I think Biden's going to run again.
Why you feel that? So, you feel it? You feel it coming?
Yeah, I mean, I understand that it's like not. It's a Hail Mary, but I feel like they have the FBI fucking raiding this guy, their future opponent's house. You know what I mean? Like, it's shaky knees. It doesn't show confidence, and it's so egregious in that way that I'm reading between the lines. I feel like the impression it gives is that they're literally going to go with the walking corpse candidate.
So if you think that they have no other options and this is kind of them back against the wall a little bit, then how far do you think they're going to go with it? Like, how far do you think they'll do anything beyond the raids? You think that they'll, actually seek to press legitimate charges that'll actually have to be answered for in court, or do like any type of, more significant legal action?
Dude, it seems like they don't have the ability to, because I feel like they would have done that already.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I'm getting out of it too. I feel like there's just nothing. But that's what it is with these fucking boxes of papers, bro. I don't give a fuck about any of that. Right. It's like, they're going to his house to go look for some filing cabinets or something, dude. That's nothing to me.
Yeah. This strikes me as everybody's talking about it as like, oh, this is unprecedented. This is like a game-changing moment.
Which it is unprecedented. Mm-hmm. Like, this hasn't happened to an ex-president before.
That's true. Yeah, that is true. I mean,
that we know of, at least.
Yeah. I mean, my boy is special. Trump is special. He's breaking all the precedents. But
he different.
He built different.
He's breaking the glass ceiling here.
For real. But I know. Yeah, I see that. I also just feel like this just seems like an exercise in like futility. You know what I mean? It really feels like this is part of the Jan 6 investigation, and the Jan 6 trial is 100% the third part of the trilogy of the Russiagate impeachment thing, which was all bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
So to me, because Russiagate was pure spectacle, nothing there. Impeachment, spectacle, nothing. He fucking got impeached and nothing happened. He fucking got impeached, and they're just like, you're forever impeached. That's what the libs were saying. And this thing is like it really feels like an extension. It's like, I don't know, that limo story that was going on. I don't even know the details of that, but like, it feels so like they're clinging on.
Limo story.
Some limo story that he tried to take the wheel and drive it back to.
Yeah. Which is actually super based, like super cool, man.
He reached for the wheel.
That's actually cool because it makes it seem like he didn't just like give up on his supporters.
Yeah, that he didn't call.
That's kind of a W for him, really.
He didn't call them
big dubs for the man.
Yeah, that he didn't actually just call the National Guard on his own people, which is what happened. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, it's all this. Again, this is all fantasy shit, and like the idea of like the feds raid him and it's like gonna put a real dent in him or whatever. I feel like it does nothing to him, like Slav was saying. And I also, for that reason, I don't think that they really intend for it to stop him from running in 2024. It just feels like part of that feeding the lib fantasy of any day now Trump's going to go to jail. There's that fantasy that one day.
Dude, it's the lib equivalent of like patriots are in charge.
Yes,
like
real.
The patriots are in charge. They're going to fucking execute Trump any day now.
It's exactly that. It's blue. It's
Mueller's in charge.
Yeah. It's Mueller time.
It's blue anon. It's they're like arrests have been made, indictments have been handed down already. That's the fantasy. I mean, I don't know if you've ever talked to a Russiagate person in person, but
these people are bad shit
they
crazy.
have like
dude.
a wild look in their eyes, and I imagine it's what they,
I know, dude.
I imagine it's what they,
You just don't understand. I read the Steele dossier.
Yeah, they start like tweaking out like in front of me. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, all right, well, I don't really care that much, so okay. So
You're looking at demonic possessions here, okay?
yeah. I mean, I've never met a QAnon person in person, but the Russiagate people, I'm sure it's similar. It's fucking delusional. Yeah, it's just delusional. Like the fantasy that one day Hillary's going to be arrested and executed. No, that's not going to happen. Unfortunately, it's not how this works. These guys get away with it, of course. So I mean, Trump is not fucking going to jail. But again, I think all that Russiagate shit and impeachment shit was all just tickling the taint for the lib of like, oh boy, one day he's gonna be in an orange jumpsuit. It's like the fantasy that they need to just keep edging off of for fucking 4 or 5, 6 years.
Listen. The walls are closing in.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I heard that. I used to watch the news, like years ago. I don't know how many times I heard that shit. So many fucking times. And I mean, this raid, like, I understand that it's kind of a big deal, but because of all that context, it just feels like another nothing. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like a continuation of nothing. It's like spectacle over like documents. Improperly filed documents. You know what I mean? Like it's all nothing. Like this isn't the type of charge. It's not like he's Tony Soprano and they got him on the RICO. And you know what I mean? They knocked down his door with a fucking ram. Like it's over fucking documents. Like this is some limp dick shit. Like that's why I can't really take it as like, oh my God. I think a lot of people on the right are taking it as like, oh my God, the feds are like, they're coming down hard. Now they've got this fucking this meme that the left libs are doing of Dark Brandon or whatever. Like, oh shit, like
Dark Brandon.
Which is kind of funny. I'll give them that. It's kind of funny, but it's like, but like
it does fucking get me, to be honest, dude. I don't even care.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck, I'm looking this up.
I think this is perfect. I think this is perfect because it's like it's built in. The lib mindset is built in. Did you like it's papers, you know what I mean? It's like being well read enough is the central issue here. Yeah. I love it. And it's the final form too, because it's not anything that anyone is ever actually allowed to read. So like they don't even have to pretend to have been well read on the topic.
Right. It's
fucking
the white hats know what's in it. The white hats know it's the indictment.
Dude, and patriots are in charge. The experts are in charge. Yeah. Experts are in charge now.
Yeah.
Fact checkers are in charge now.
It really is.
I like how you mentioned earlier, CRK, that it's like the trilogy.
Oh yeah,
because it's just like back into the whole fanfare and marvelization of stuff, and like I feel like just the endless repeated information like this, and like the just like I read this most recent article, because like the lib brain they want to be the most up to date on everything, right? Yeah. They want to be the most well read, like Slav's saying here. They want to be like, I'm reading 6 articles from the New York Times a day, so I know what's going on a little better than you.
Yeah.
They want to be these kind of people, and so I feel like giving them this endless stream of news from all these different sources of just like, oh, well, we got them in court today about these papers, or, whatever the fuck, kind of gives them a canon
Yeah.
And then they can like kind of catch the Easter eggs. They can, they can make references that other people can't quite get. They're like, oh, well, you didn't see that in the Mueller papers. The fucking blah blah blah. It gives them like a little. It gives them a little thing.
Easter egg in the Lev Parnas interview.
Yeah, for real, for real. It gives them just ways to like, just kind of credential that they've been reading. They're up to date, and it's just kind of like just consuming it essentially like you would some sort of superhero trilogy.
Yeah, Russiagate, that was so last season, bro. You gotta be up to date on the new season. I feel like they're gonna do like prequel shit. They're gonna go back to his like rape allegations in the 80s and like Central Park 5, bring back all that shit. Like, it's just I don't know how much they can milk this because I'm thinking this has got to stop with this one because he's not even fucking president anymore. Like, it's got to stop with this one. But I don't know. I mean, I hope it does because like. It's just kind of tiring. It's just like it's boring more than anything. I think that's the real cardinal sin of it all. It's fucking boring. It's just like, dude, I don't know how much more I can hear about this. Like, I've tuned out completely. Jay and Stick.
Isn't that kind of sad that the ultimate smell test of this stuff is whether or not it's like entertaining or not? I mean, and that's not about us. It's about just like the sphere through which everyone's educated.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess it's entertaining to the libs, but it's I don't know. This is I'm tired of the reboots. I'm tired of this. Like, he's not going to fucking jail. I'm sorry. You gotta accept that one. You know what I mean? Like, to the libs, like they gotta let that go. But I guess the gas in it is the fear that he's gonna come back and he's still got this influence on the right, on the GOP.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the real sin that would be done there is shattering their fucking fantasy worlds. I feel like their fantasy that people don't actually want him, and that this shit is bullshit, and that the ground is softened for him to come in and just clap their cheeks again. And again, I want to reiterate, like, I mean, I hope he does win when he runs again. I don't really know. That's not going to solve our problems. But I think that that's kind of the real sin central to it is them just kind of like, so everybody's in their little fucking delusional bubbles online, and and people kind of know that in a lot of ways, and just the threat of like reality coming smashing through your bubble is just like one of the most horrifying things. And I think that's a part of this.
Yeah, I mean, for Trump, I mean, I guess there's a lot of headlines now of like Trump has set his mind about 2024 now or whatever. There's like rumors going around. Yeah, I don't know. I still have this feeling that I don't really think he would want to do it. I mean, kind of sucks. I mean, I don't know. The job kind of sucks. And it also just looks like, I don't know, not that much fun, especially like, aside from that, like I don't see what the conditions are different in terms of that fortified election in 2020 and the conditions in 2024. And I know people say like, oh, we're not in COVID times, like they're not gonna do the mail-in ballot, like, but bro, it's like it's not like that was based on anything. You know what I mean? It was pretty much out of thin air in my mind. I mean, I know this is a little extreme, but like it was out of thin air. You know what I mean? COVID is on very like flimsy pretenses. So, I mean, I don't know if you guys seen this. They're doing monkeypox is now a national emergency.
Fuck yeah!
Did you see that?
I saw
national.
That.
Because SLAV broke the news to me that it was in New York. I didn't even know I was under it. And then like a couple of days
now we're
later,
all under
it's
it.
Federal, which I don't even know what difference that makes. I think it's some like frees up some executive powers to add funding.
Oh, some slush fund bullshit, dude.
Yeah. But the monkeypox
just open up some money,
and I swear I've seen floatings, and I just want to like I want to put blinders on and pretend I never saw it, but I've seen floatings of like monkeypox lockdowns and monkeypox vaccines, and the monkeypox vaccine is a real thing, but like monkeypox lockdowns, I mean, I don't even want to talk about it because I don't want to like put bad energy in the air, but like, yeah, I don't know. Again, what I'm saying is like this none of that is like based on anything. So it could come out of anywhere at any time, which is what I said about COVID. Like, I just don't see why the idea of Trump coming back and winning in 2024, just like, I can't imagine it even. I can't even imagine it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's a possibility, really. But you think it might happen, SLAV?
Wait, what?
Trump winning in 2024 if he were to run again.
Oh, for sure. Who the fuck is going to beat him?
But what I'm saying is, like, they'll just fortify it again. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, maybe I wasn't paying attention there. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we've been over this before, and it's just like I think that like you can't just like it doesn't. I think that it doesn't cost nothing to do that kind of stuff. Right. And so I don't think that they can. I mean, they conceivably can do it again. They could do it anytime, right? If it's possible, they can do it, right? But I don't think they can like get away with it. I don't think that they have the means to run someone better than Joe fucking Biden. Even if they did run somebody besides Joe Biden, like, I doubt that they have anybody that's actually really going to put up much of a fucking fight. So no, I don't. Is it possible that they rig the election? Yeah. Is it viable? That's another matter, in my opinion, and I don't really think that it's viable.
I feel like this is putting in the groundwork to like do something like that. The way I see it is, if he does come back and run, I don't know that they'll have debates at all. I think that they'll be like, oh, we're not debating this guy that's like, obviously all the things hateful, racist, bigoted, but also, a criminal against the state, treasonous. Right. I think they're going to use this as just a way to give them some backing to just do the most sketchy shit around fortifying the election. I don't know that it means that they're going to, change out ballots, but I think that it means that they're going to use this to, interrupt all the channels that they can and adjust things as much as they can to limit the ability for him to get a good, proper, fair vote.
Yeah, and I won't name drop, but like somebody was going viral recently who's like tangentially related to us who was talking about, future elections. It's almost guaranteed that, they'll fortify it again. The Republicans won't certify the results, and there'll be grounds for a civil war, or at minimum, no future election will ever be taken seriously again, which is interesting. I don't think there'll be a civil war, but fortifying it and never being taken serious again, I mean, I could see that, I guess.
Most sane people don't take these fucking elections serious in the first place.
Yeah, there's that. And like,
so, I don't see where this is like never taken serious again. You're going to have people on the news and shit who are going to be for the first time talking. We're not even for the first time, because I feel like this has been something ever since they were doing their recounts and shit. I don't know. I think that that's always something that's in contention. I think that it's definitely a lot bigger now. And I think it's more in the forefront of people's minds that are maybe more traditionally politically minded, as far as just like there's GOP voters or whatever. But I don't know. I don't see them like blatantly rigging this against him again. I think that's like why they're doing this. Like Slav was saying, maybe trying to pull out all the stops, or maybe trying to stir something up, like some sort of response that they can then, be more strict about, how they lock him down or his information or whatever, or go after his supporters or go after his networks of communication and fundraising, etc.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm wondering what were the consequences of the 2020 fortifying, memory hold in like a month or two. It's old news in a month or two. Nobody cared. Like I remember Schizo posting for 6 months that it was going to happen. And then it happened, and then no one cared. So, like, in terms of, like, viability, it's just like, why not? You know what I mean? What's really going to happen if you do that? Nobody's going to do anything. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's going to, like, trip out or do... I know they're not going to do anything because it already happened. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard for me to imagine that they do it, and then all of a sudden people are like, whoa, this time, no, we're not going to take this. Like, You know what I mean? Especially with all the stigma of like, oh, if you do anything close to Jan 6, then you're fed bait, basically. You know what I mean? Like I don't see any reaction coming from that. And if there's no threat of a reaction, then why not? You know what I mean? Like I that's how I view it. Like in terms of viability, like what's stopping them?
How would there not be a threat of reaction?
Because nobody did anything about 2020.
Of course, people did something about 2020. We're like hearing nonstop about it with the fucking Jan 6th stuff, and like now like the GOP. Go ahead.
No, sorry.
And now like the GOP like doesn't talk to like media publications at all. I mean I don't know that we're really able to fully say, like we're also going to see how midterms shake out. But I mean, like January 6th wasn't nothing. It was just a redirection of a response. I mean, what were you going to say? Go ahead.
No, I mean, well, I've always defended Jan 6 as like a good thing that happened. But, you know, I think a lot of people on the right especially view it as like bad optics, fed bait, honeypot, like a mistake, basically. So if the mindset is that the reaction is a mistake, then you know what I mean? Like then everything is against any reaction happening again.
Well, I think you're being like a little reductive about that though, because I think it's less like the reaction is a mistake, and I think it's more just that I think that it got kind of just like how I mean, we've been over this before, right? But just like how the Black Lives Matter riots and protests during COVID was like kind of a clever way of redirecting angst around COVID into a form that was like kind of centrally conceived and signed off on. I think that that's kind of what happened with Jan 6. We're like, we know there were feds there, and we know that it got channeled into a form that they were in control of, that they could kind of like whip up a narrative around. I don't think anybody's saying that like any reaction. Well, I mean, I can't say anybody. I'm sure that there's somebody saying the most retarded shit ever, right? But I don't know that the wide consensus is people saying like a reaction in any form is bad. I think that it's just like a reaction that's playing into the hands of feds that are going to like, you know, whip you up and direct you into their own direction. That's bad. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I get what you're saying. I just, for some reason, the takeaway I got from a lot of people's reaction was, if you meet up in person, you're doing Fed shit, like the Patriot Front thing. Like there was this image after Jan 6 of like, if you meet up in person with anyone to do anything, you are like, the right typically doesn't like protests as a vehicle of like unrest. So Jan 6 was very like out of character. But like, it just seems to me that like the takeaway that I heard from it was like, you do anything close to that, like do anything like meeting up or do anything outside of voting, you're like a Fed basically, or you're Fed bait, was the impression I got. But maybe
no. Well, I think there is something. I think you're actually right to a certain extent that there's people saying that. I don't really know exactly where the line is because I'm not that involved in that sphere, I guess. But I do think like because I've heard that before too. I think there is something to be said though for, you know, I have like right wing family members that were like going to protests for a little while. Mm-hmm. And I remember like one of them specifically, you know, like counter protesters showed up and like assaulted a bunch of people. And then they freaked out because the cops just started like arresting the original protesters that like weren't really doing anything. Mm-hmm. And this person I know like almost kind of got in some trouble, right?
Oh shit.
Getting roped into a bad situation. And so, you know, I personally have, you know, advised people I know to like, you know, the rules are different for you. You shouldn't be going protests because it's like unsafe. And it's gonna get turned into this spectacle that's gonna work against your
which is understandable, of course.
Yeah, and I think there's something to that, right? But that's what I'm saying of just like, where is that line though, right? Because just speaking for myself, I don't know that I would say that doing anything outside of electoralism is pointless and or bad. I don't know if I go that far. I don't think I would go that far, right? But, where does what we're talking about, unsafe psyops, protests and shit like that, where does that end and good examples begin? I don't really know where the line is. It's kind of hard.
It's just something I've been thinking about, of just like, I don't know why they wouldn't fortify it again, and I don't know why they wouldn't just get away with it again. I don't know why history wouldn't repeat is basically the way I think of it. But I mean, we're pretty far out still, still not even 2023. So,
honestly, just the simplest answer I have is because I just think the normies would notice, like more and more.
It destabilizes it a little bit more if you do that again, and like at a high degree, because then you're gonna have like, even if your average normie doesn't notice it even right away or care about it or look into it much, you're gonna start having like more and more Republican candidates that are going to be like just not engaging probably with the electoral process in general. Like I think you're going to start seeing like stuff from people on the right that are like really decrying the legitimacy of the elections on a pretty public level, which is something that, previously isn't such a big, it wasn't really such a thing. Like there's people, like I was saying, scattered, throughout recalls and stuff like that, saying, oh, well, they're doing this and they're messing with this here and there. But I don't think you've seen like entire parties really like kind of taking stances. And I think that you probably would if you get it again. Like I think you're going to start seeing a lot more people in the public eye taking firmer stances on the illegitimacy of the election, which I think could ripple out to people who are still like voting. I think that a lot of people just generally aren't voting and they don't take it serious. And I think maybe some of the people who do vote don't take it seriously, but maybe it would get them not to vote either, or it get, it does destabilize things a little bit.
I guess. I mean, it seemed like after 2020, people, like, the initial thing people told me was like, hey, chill out. Like, it was funny, but like, it always happens. And also, like, you don't want to seem like a sore loser. So like, just let it go. Like, it already happened, whatever. A month, just let it go. That's the vibe I got from like what happened afterwards. And
I think this is a type of situation though, where like, again, like the people in our age range on fucking Twitter don't fucking matter in American politics, right? You know who matters? Our parents. Our parents matter, and their entire fucking boomerized middle class demographic entirely. Those are the people that are being serviced by politics. Those are the people that fucking television is still being invested into. And why the fucking internet got boomerfied in the last few years. Everything is for them, right? Yeah. And I that's kind of what I mean when I say, like, all that needs to happen is the normies just need to start noticing more and more, right? And the fact is you and I are in deep blue areas, right? And most boomers that we're encountering are fucking blue anon, fucking, Mueller time, let's go, Russiagate shit, right? But like, man, dude, they're like conservative middle class boomers are fucking.
That's a different beast.
It's a different beast, dude. And like the Lincoln Project and the fucking neocons and Liz Cheney is not selling any of them, dude. They're not taking that shit, dude. I really believe this, dude. I'm talking the entirety of the state of Arizona right now. I'm talking people that exist outside. I'm talking suburbs, dude. I'm talking dads in suburbs. Nah, man.
Hopefully,
they're not feeling faith with this shit.
Hopefully, I mean that'd be good. For some reason, my gut reaction is like the normie is skeptical of COVID. I feel like most people were like, that was a little weird. Like I think most people on some level have that feeling. The election, for some reason, I don't know why, but I don't get that same feeling. For some reason, with the election, I get more of a feeling of, well, he said this would happen, so what happened? Yeah, what I don't know, whatever. Yeah,
I think that's because our entertainment. I mean, yeah, entertainment. Our informational channels have been so thoroughly consolidated over the last 15 years that everything is so easily centrally planned in our culture and controlled that, like, this is the biggest flex of that power that we've ever seen, is the censorious approach that's happened with
we had an episode get taken down.
Yeah, exactly. The election stuff is it really doesn't get appreciated how fucking insane that was.
Whiplash.
Like the centralized power in media that took.
Oh yeah.
And it was the biggest flex of it that I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
This is like Tiananmen Square tier shit, right? Like, if not bigger, right? And so I think like the material that undergirds all of our, I have a funny feeling about this, or I just have a vibe about this, all of that stuff is just in the ether in our informational channels. And I think it's totally natural that the takeaway would be like, oh yeah, I think that normies just kind of like, bought that the election was legit. You're not going to get the impression that people don't buy that shit anywhere except face to face with people. And, we're not in
with the right.
Go ahead.
And with the right people, like what I think was what you were about to say when you said we're not in an area to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Just because, like, I don't know. I mean, like, you're saying the normie, like, what do we mean? Are we talking about like normal people that you encounter on a day-to-day basis or in your age range, generally kind of peers of yours that are normies? Or like, are we talking about like the boomers that are voting normies? Because like normies, quote unquote, a lot of the people that I know that are peers of my age range and stuff, they're not fucking really voting. I mean, like they may engage with some stuff online, like here and there, share a thing on Facebook or whatever about, some sort of just like, room temperature lib bullshit about, people can do whatever they want with their bodies and women, whatever. But they're not like actually out here like really voting, taking this shit seriously. So of course they're not going to be that skeptical about the election because they're not that invested in it in the first place. Yeah. But COVID impacted everyone's life down to like the most minuscule actions. And so you're heavily invested in that. Like it's everything that you're doing. Yeah. So there's way more opportunity for you to think about it, for it to intrude in your life and cause you to be skeptical of it. Whereas like, I mean, dude, I don't give a fuck about I don't give a fuck about the election. I mean, I'll talk about it here and like you can use it to point at like, oh, this is what's going on with the greater machine. But like, I'm not voting and stuff. So like, I don't know. I'm checked out on it. I know all my friends are checked out on it. So it's just like,
no, that's a good point.
That's not an issue for a lot of people. Yeah. But like these boomers we're talking about, that is like the issue. Like the TV people, the people that I think it's funny though, Slav, you mentioned Liz Cheney and TV, right? Kind of in the same sentence. Because I saw an article in regards to all this about Liz Cheney buying some time slots on Fox News to air some ads, which are featuring the one and only Dick Cheney. And he's staring down the gun of this camera, bro. He's just staring right down the middle, scowl on his face, hat on in the woods, dude, just like talking about Trump's the biggest threat to our democracy in 246 years, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just thinking, who the fuck falls for this shit, dude?
Yeah,
but I guess some of these fucking boomers that are watching this TV, some of them apparently do. Some of them apparently do. Otherwise, they wouldn't do this shit.
I don't know, man. I don't think the majority of them do. To be completely honest with you, I don't think the majority. Like, I think that a lot of people tuning into one thing that needs to be understood about the Fox News media consumption sphere, diet, habit, whatever, is that, they do crazy fucking numbers, right? Everyone knows that they do crazy fucking numbers. And we all know the reason for that, which is the other guys have every other fucking channel on the fucking television, right? And then there's just Fox News. I guess there's OAN or whatever the fuck the Newsmax and that shit. But like that shit doesn't count, dude. That shit's not even going to exist in a year and a half, right? Mm-hmm. It's all consolidated on Fox News, right? And the reason I'm bringing this up right now in the context of what you just said is that like there are a lot of fucking people. I think the flexibility of boomer conservatives tuning in to listen to their stories on Fox News, their flexibility to tolerate shit that they totally think is retarded on their channel is way higher than the libs, right? Because they don't have any fucking alternatives, right? And so I think there's a hell of a lot of old boomer fucking normie boomer conservatives going on there and understanding that like 75% of the fucking slugs that they're watching on there are like fucking globalist goblins that they fucking hate. And honestly, just like look at like the numbers between Tucker and everybody else, right? There's a lot of different flavors on Fox News, and they're not all equally popular.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I mean, I think these commercials are going to fucking do jack shit, dude. They're going to be a flop for sure. But I mean, it's just, I do think that it's a little bit different game talking about normies, that we are encountering, or normies that are, the people who are the voting, the boomer class of voters, and people who they're making these ads for, whether or not they're going to be effective ads, they're targeting towards specific audiences.
Yeah.
And I think it's because those specific audiences, those people are the ones that are more engaged and more invested in the whole process.
No, exactly. They're the people being served with every move of our political process. I mean, that's, as far as like the little people go, it's basically them. It's basically just them, right? Yeah. Which is also why forgiving student loan debt is, the funniest fucking dead end of an issue ever, dude. It will never fucking happen, dude. It will never fucking happen. Because I can always confidently say that because it's not for the right people. It's not for the right people, dude. It's just about sheepdogging the fucking retarded cucked millennials that are, 2 steps away from debtor's prison. Yeah, dude, it's a joke, dude. It's a joke, dude. Every fucking most political ads are for fucking normie boomers, right? But again, also I don't think that there's really a market for the Liz Cheneys of the world. I like Liz Cheney and Mitt Romney are let's be honest, they're just for Democrats, right? And those same people will just vote Democrat. So they're fucking limp wrist, nothing burgers. But these ads are intended to, be for taste making. You're kind of checked out boomer dad who's just like, I don't really know, but it seems like this that ad just painted this gal Liz to be pretty tough on some issues. So I guess I like the cut of her jib.
Yeah. I mean, the elections are still Boomercon traditionally, and Boomer convention. That's most of the people.
And if you
midterms, especially, that's who's voting. It's not really like regular people. It's kind of like heavily that way.
Yes.
And yeah.
And those people are still generally invested in the election. And so, I mean, obviously
super investor. You can make to a fault, dude.
Exactly. And I feel like the one reason why they are right now with the Trump thing, it's like, because this is like, if Trump wins here, it's like the possibility of a redemption. It's like, maybe we really can get people in through our electoral system that are correct. There's people that are hanging on that I think like maybe were skeptical, maybe think that it could have been rigged, but that are still like really in on this next election cycle because they want, maybe they still think Trump could win. And I think that like those are the people that are going to be more and more put off if you do rig it again. And that is going to be rippling through that community pretty heavily, I think, in a way that it didn't after just one. Like if you do it a second time, it's like, you know, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, you know, shame on me. People start looking at themselves, they feel like goddamn idiots, dude.
Dude, fool me twice. I'm fucking liquidating all of my children's college funds and buying guns to kill a senator.
In Minecraft, bro. But yeah,
yeah. We'll beep that one. You got to beep that one for me.
But, you know, for real, that's what I think is like, that's where the damage is with if you do try to rig it again. And so I do think that I can see this being like Saul was saying, like them trying to pull out their last stops. But it just makes me think like if they had the power to rig it and they can pull out their last stops here, what's not to like keep them from trying to overstep their bounds a little bit just to kind of stir up some sort of response that could be a liken to another January 6th or something that you could like maybe really clamp down on. In a more meaningful way than what they were able to do with the January 6th show trials and stuff.
Like the feds watching boomers and all that shit, like go harder surveillance. And
or like really really lean on the censorship beyond just like taking down some, you know, YouTube videos, Twitter stuff. Like maybe, I don't know. I don't really know. I couldn't really picture exactly what they would do.
I don't really know how they can do. I don't know. Maybe this is tempting fate, but like, I don't know how much more they can do besides just banning people for just mentioning certain concepts and words and then like shutting down an entire outlet like RT. Like these last couple of years was like so much further than I expected already. But I mean, maybe I am tempting fate.
I mean, like they moved to take Tucker off there.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. Like
they're always trying to do that, which is funny.
Yeah, but apparently I saw some article today that's like the Murdochs are like, we want Tucker to shut the hell up about Trump and we want people to stop supporting Trump on our Fox News, blah, 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 blah. And so I think they're kind of milking that. I don't know. I'm just saying, I don't know. I feel like you're right that this is like them back against the wall a little bit because they can't really rig the next one. I do think they're a little bit worried. And I mean, maybe shit, they could rig it. Fucking if I know, dude. But I do think that this is them kind of like reaching the bottom of the barrel and trying to pull out the stops. And it just makes me wonder how, like, are there any other that they'll try after that and how significant will they be? Just because, you know, that's just the nature of it.
Well, I'll put I mean, maybe some of these boomers are thinking, hey, you know, last time was bad, but maybe if we vote harder this time, the gap will be maybe they're using my reasoning from 2020 of like, oh, the gap will be so big that the fortifying will have to be even more exaggerated, right? Yeah, I mean, look, I again, that election was fucking insane to me, fucking insane. So I don't know what else. Like, to me, the point was delivered in that single election, and if you need a second one, then I don't think you'll ever get it. Honestly, I'm kind of all or nothing about that. Like, if that one didn't like get the point through to you, I don't think 1,000 more will do it. I really don't. Like, you either saw what I saw or you didn't see it. So I mean, I can't. Maybe I just don't understand people. Maybe I just don't understand seeing that and being like, well, I'm gonna slam the ballot box a little bit harder this time. And like, what? It's the same. It's the same thing. It's the same exact thing. Like, I don't get why you would need a repeat to like. I don't know. I don't understand that at all. But I'll put it in.
People aren't sure about anything. People aren't really sure about anything that they're seeing because we're living in a fucking hall of mirrors and like just a bunch of smoke screens everywhere. So it's just really a lot of confusion, abstractions. And so I think that people are, you know, a little bit skeptical of just saying like leaning into 100% being certain that they know it was rigged. Like, I think there's a lot of people who would be like, I mean, who knows really the specifics of what the rigging was and how they did it. I'm one of those people. I think they rigged it. I think it was largely through means that had nothing really to do with ballot swapping. I think it was more so the communication channels and stuff that really ultimately just kind of changed the whole process of I mean, I think they probably had that too, but I'm just saying, like, I think that there's enough level of people just not knowing of its uncertainty in the day-to-day life of how we're getting our news and our information constantly that people sometimes it takes a second time or a couple times of something happening to develop a pattern that you can recognize, and that becoming more cemented into your mind. Or something that you can say, well, now I've encountered this twice. It's something that I empirically can see. Or like now, it's something that is just more recognizable. I think saying, oh, if I saw it and no one else saw it, then they'll never see it. I think that's fucking bullshit, dude. But yeah.
I don't think no one else saw it. I just think that, like, I think that
if that lesson wasn't enough for you, then what will be?
I don't understand this specific sliver of people that are like, I need to see it again. Let me see it. Do it again. Do the magic trick again. Like, what? Like, I don't get that. I'll just put it early.
People are in a lull, dude. They need to be shaken.
You might be right. I'll put it in early that I don't think Trump's going to run. And if he does, I think they'll disqualify him early, like you were saying, for some technicality maybe, or they'll just outright fortify him again for some bullshit psyop that's going on, lockdown, whatever, for climate or monkeypox or who knows, whatever the fuck. And no one will care. No one will do anything.
Trump has monkeypox. He can't run for president.
Yeah, it'll be something like that, something absurd.
Shit.
And they'll just do it again, and no one will do anything about it. That's what I think is the most likely thing to happen. But, hopefully I'll be wrong about that. I'd like to be wrong about that. But just on this last thing about this raid or whatever, I don't...
No, I got a couple more things
about
it, so I don't want to cap it off.
All right, that was part 1 of our episode. If you'd like to listen to part 2, you can find that at patreon.com/fedpost. Thanks for listening.